going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So let's get right into it. We have some MLB free agency news. So Jung-Ho Lee, the star outfielder, will be playing in the United States next year. He comes over from Korea and he has signed with the San Francisco Giants. He gets a big deal, 6 years, $113 million. So that comes to about 19 something a year. So 19 a little more per year. He can opt out after 4 years. This is a big deal for the Giants. He's a really good center fielder. He's a really good hitter. He's a 318 career hitter in Korea. There for like 6 or 7 years. His past year only played 86 games, had some injuries, I believe, but he hit like 310, 320 with 6 homers, 45 RBIs. The year before, he had like 330 with 23 and 111 RBIs. I think a year or two prior to that, he hit like 320, 330, if not, might even been like 340. With 15 homers, 111 RBIs. He's a incredible bat-to-ball hitter, doesn't strike out a lot, really good run producer, and he's a great center fielder. Obviously, when these guys coming from overseas, from Korea, Japan, or wherever, it's, hit or miss. Some guys have hit. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani's been a guy who's hit. He's the best player in baseball. He's a guy who gives you 40, 50 home runs, 120 RBIs, and he just give you a sub-3 ERA as a pitcher. Obviously, Ichiro, who's obviously now retired, going to be a Hall of Famer, is a guy who obviously worked out. He was in Japan for like 10 years, was like a 300 hitter in Japan for 10 years, comes over here, signed with Seattle, and, he was a 300 hitter for most of his career. 10-time Gold Glove winner, won some batting titles. He's got the record for most hits in a single season. Then you have guys like Kaz Matsui, the star infielder the Mets signed years back who didn't work out. Yusei Kikuchi, the starting pitcher. He started in Seattle, now he's in Toronto. Who didn't quite work out for the Toronto Blue for the Mariners world, and now with the Blue Jays, he has been much better. So they're always hit or miss, but now there's so much talent overseas. You see a lot more guys, guys are nailing on than guys that are coming over here and not playing well. Obviously, Kawhi Senga last year with the Mets had a great year. Was a Cy Young candidate in his first year in the big leagues. Masataka Yoshida for the Red Sox, I believe, hit over 300 last year in his first year after coming over. And now you got obviously Yoshina Yamamoto is coming over. Shoto Amanga's another really good starting pitcher who's coming over. And now you have Jung-Ho Lee coming over from Korea. So it's a lot of talent overseas in baseball. The Kansas City Royals signed Seth Lugo. 3 years and $45 million. They've made some nice moves in the world. They also signed Chris Stratton, who's a solid reliever, right? A sub-4 ERA last year between St. Louis and Texas. Of course, he's coming off the World Series championship. Stratton's will help their bullpen, and they bring in Lugo, who last year, of course, he came up to start with the Mets. Then for a while, they used him out of the bullpen, where he pitched very well. But it was still the thing, like, he's a starting pitcher, and they're using him as a reliever. He signed in San Diego last year. He had a good year in 26 starts with 8 and 7 for 3.57 ERA, 140 strikeouts, going to start 3 walks, 146 innings. He's a solid middle rotation guy. He gets his bag in Kansas City. I'm very happy that Seth Lugo got his bag. It's a shame the Mets had always used to use him out of the bullpen with how bad their bullpens were and how much starting pitching they had. There wasn't room for him. He also pitched better as a reliever. But the Mets, he got an opportunity to be a full-time starter at San Diego last year, and he had a good year. Now he's off to Kansas City. Also, Rowdy Tellez signed the 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates worth $3 million. 2 years ago, he only hit .219, but did have 35 home runs and 89 ribbies for the Brewers. Didn't have a good year last year. He missed some time with injuries. Only hit like 211, had like a 660 OPS or something like that. Power went down to 13 homers. Didn't have a great year, but he's 2 years removed from a 35 homer season. He's got a ton of power. Not great defensively over there at first. If they put him at first or if they DH him. But he's got the power. And like I said, he hit 35 home runs 2 seasons ago. The Los Angeles Dodgers are in talks with the Tampa Bay Rays for now. They're very deep in those talks. If the trade goes through, Dodgers would get Tyler Glasnow as well as Manuel Margot. Glasnow, of course, will be the highlight of that deal. Glasnow last year had a good year with 21 starts. He had with 10-7 for 3.57 ERA. Hit 162 strikeouts against 37 walks in 120 innings. Glasnow is a phenomenal talent. just based off the player himself. When he's healthy, he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, but he's never healthy. He's going to give you probably 20 to 23 starts a year. So, if you're a team that has him, if he's in your 5-man rotation, you got to have another guy, who's prepared to give you 10 to 12 starts. The last man was just always hurt. Now, obviously, Tommy John in the rear view mirror. But he's always hurt, but he's a really good arm that looks like the Dodgers will be getting. Manuel Margot is not a great hitter. Last year, he had 311 at-bats last year in Tampa. He hit 264, but 310 on base, 376 slugging, a 686 OPS. So he's not a great hitter, but he's a decent outfielder. He's been around for a while. He's been in Tampa for a little while now. He was in San Diego before that. He's a solid outfielder, can play all 3 outfield spots. He's not a bad option to have as your 4th outfielder. And he may be heading over to the Dodgers, who could use a little bit of depth in their outfield. Their starting outfield right now is probably going to be probably have Chris. You might have Chris Taylor out there. You might move him to the outfield permanently. Jason Haber, who you brought over last year, he had a surgery. Then James Outman had 23 home runs as a rookie. And Johnny DeLuca, one of their outfield prospects who may have been on the opening day roster as a bench player, is going to be in that deal along with random pitcher Ryan Pepois. So if the deal goes, they would be a little thin in the outfield. So they may need another guy on the bench that can play the outfield. And Margot would get the job done there. Injury news, Ronnie Mauricio, Mets number 4 prospect. He tore his ACL in the Dominican League game. He was playing like that Dominican Winter League. He would need surgery. There was no they don't give him a timeline yet. I mean, that injury would take you 6 to 12 months. So he could be back. You think it's December, January, March, April, May, June. So he could be back by mid-June. He also could miss the entire season. Big shame, big shame for him. He's a talented young kid. He hit 248, 101 at bats last year. He showed the ability that he could really swing the bat well. He was playing third base every day in the Dominican League. He was hitting the cover of the ball. He was struggling defensively. He was making a lot of errors, but his last 2 games, he was looking a little better defensively, and now he's hurt. He might miss the entire year. That's a tough break for Mauricio, who's probably going to be their everyday third baseman this year for the Mets opening day. It's a shame, because it always happens with the Mets. They're a cursed franchise. So obviously last year with Evan Diaz, now this year with Ryan Mauricio. The Mets, we're not going to go out. We're not going to look and bring in a veteran third baseman, because they're going to let the kids Mauricio and Beatty play, and also Mark Vientos will probably be their DH next year, but he can also play third. To me, he's actually probably looked the best out of all 3 defensively, but all 3 are not good defenders, and they're all third basemen. The problem there, like the Vientos can play first, but obviously you have Pete Alonso there, so he's not going to get any playing time there. Beatty's played the tiny bit of outfield, not much, hasn't looked great. Mauricio can play second. He came up a shortstop, didn't work out. The Mets have Francisco Lindor anyway. They can play second. McNeil can play third. McNeil's a little better second baseman than a third baseman to me, but they could put Mauricio at second and put McNeil at third. Mauricio hasn't looked great second, to be honest. And he's playing a little bit of left field. He's looked awful out there. He hasn't played that much of it. His best bet might be playing him at third, but it's a shame. Like, I was actually telling people off camera, like, what I think the Mets should do is, package a couple of those guys to San Diego, maybe for Juan Soto. Obviously, they can't do that now. You can trade to the Yankees. Who knows? Maybe it'll work out. Maybe they'll sign him as a free agent next year. We'll see what happens with that. But that's a tough break. But now I'm hearing the Mets are going to look to sign somebody. So they bring back Justin Turner, who they never should have let leave in free agency anyway all those years ago. He's not the same player, but he's still a decent hitter, can play third a little bit. If you want to DH him and put Vientos at third or Beatty, I would like to see Brett Beatty start the year in the minor leagues. His defense is just not the party, and he still only hit 206 last year or something like that. Maybe G. Urshela is a really good player, underrated, great defender, got some pop. Maybe even Isaiah Kalefa. He's been with the Yankees the last 2 years. He's a very good defender. He's probably a shortstop, but he can play third. He's an okay hitter. I would love Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman is a Gold Glove third baseman, and he's a 30 homer threat. But also by 2025, at least one of Beatty or Mauricio or Vientos will be the everyday third baseman, and they don't want them to be blocked by Matt Chapman. So that means that they could trade one or two of those guys for a big name, whoever that is, to help them. I'm not against that. Whether it's Corbin Burns or whoever, but at the same time, you want to get these kids a chance to play. Mauricio or Beatty or could be their third base for the next 10, 12 years. You don't want them to be blocked by Matt Chapman. And again, Matt Chapman's going to probably want $25, $30 million a year. Opposed to a guy like Justin Turner, you might be able to give him $10 million a year. You could save money to sign other guys this year, which they really need. Maybe sign Juan Soto next year. So I get why they do. They would stay away from Matt Chapman. But other news in college football, Drake May is officially heading to the draft. The North Carolina quarterback has had a phenomenal year. He's been very consistent the last couple of years for North Carolina. This year, he can play 63% of his passes for over 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, against 9 interceptions. He also ran for 449 yards and 9 touchdowns. To me, I have a hot take. I think he's the best quarterback in this draft class. Everyone says Caleb Williams. I'm not sold on Caleb. Just he's clearly got a bit of a bad attitude. I think he's a bit of a baby. He seems like he's always crying after every loss. Now I love the emotion, and I love to see that he cares about winning, but he can't do that. He's crying after every random regular season losses. He's just breaking down and crying. If he does that in the locker room in the NFL, that's not gonna fly. With the veterans, I see some 20-year-old kid crying every time I lose. Eventually, it's maybe at first all right, he's young, he cares. Eventually, it's gonna go tiresome. Dude, you gotta grow a set. This is the NFL, and something about him I don't like. The whole thing, he wants to own part ownership of the team he goes to. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, to be honest. I have a weird feeling it almost screams Johnny Manziel. Now, not to that extent. I don't think he's having, a freshman walk-on take his drug test for him and stuff like that. He obviously doesn't have the problems that Johnny Manziel does, but to an extent, it almost seems like Johnny Manziel just the self-entitlement of him. A guy who was it's really exciting to watch in college, but then when he goes to the NFL, gets exposed. It kind of screams that to me. So I'm a little worried. So Drake May to me is the number one quarterback in this class. Oh, people are saying Caleb Williams is a generational talent. They're comparing Patrick Mahomes. Stop. He's a very good talent, has a chance to be a great quarterback, but he is not a generational talent. He's definitely being overhyped. Also, the Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson got hurt in that Pac-12 championship game. The reason that was such a big deal because he is the best, maybe the best offensive lineman in the country this past year. He's be top center in this draft. Definitely expected to be a first-round pick. He has also entered the draft. So there's some rumors that going around. I forgot the analyst who put it out there, but supposedly he's very accurate when it comes to New England Patriots. He reported that Bill Belichick will not be back next season. This is kind of the expectation for a little while this season, but he released a report that from talking to a lot of people within the organization, and he does have sources like that. He has the ability to talk to the people within the building. That Robert Kraft, after the Germany game where they lost to the Colts 10-6, is when Robert Kraft made the decision that Bill would not come back. It was not set in stone yet, but it's pretty likely that now that you have a legit source saying it, it's almost definite that it's happening. Bill is an incredible coach. He's one of the 2 or 3 greatest coaches of all time. But, it's just time for a change. He's obviously also the GM there. The team he's built is just absolutely terrible. He hasn't had the same success coaching since Tom Brady left. It's just time. Okay, it is just time. And something I haven't had in a while is a mic request on my Twitter space. We have Redbox coming in. Haven't talked to him in a while. Redbox, how you doing, man?
See you, my friend.
I know, it's been months. How have you been?
I just finished my final essay of the term.
All right. Yeah, I just got home from college about a week ago. I just finished up.
I'm going home Friday.
All right. That's good.
I'm going home Friday, so I'm just having some beers. I'm going to watch
All right. Redbox, are you from Canada?
Yes.
Okay. I thought so. There's a couple of you guys in this whole circle that are from Canada. You guys, a couple of you guys that are from up there.
Yeah, Champions League in 40 minutes. Raptors Hawks tonight. If I'm which is the real question because I've been up since about 12:30 a.m.
Wow.
So not intentionally. It's one of those days.
Yeah, that's sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
Oh no, not even that. I just could not fucking fall asleep.
Oh, it was one of those. Okay, I've been there as well.
Not even one of those. I was hoping to get up at like 6 a.m. finish this paper. Turns out I laid in bed until about 7 and then finished it at like 11. But you know.
All right. Well, you got it done.
I got it exactly.
All right, Redbox. Is there anything that you want to talk about? I talked about a few things already, but we can jump back if you want.
All right, what you got?
I was talking about some MLB free agency stuff. I was just talking about Bill Belichick. There was a Patriots or a guy who has sources within the building that says that Robert Kraft already made the decision that Bill is not coming back next year.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw this too. Neil posted it in one of the chats.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I think the problem with Bill now is he hasn't been able to adapt to a post-Brady team. And I think we've seen that. Also, I think there's some issues in the front office. The fact that they're still trying to present Mac Jones as the future of the team. I think that's on them, not just Bill. I think he's got limited resources and he's doing what he can, but also I think there's some adaptability concerns that he hasn't fully fulfilled either. So the blame doesn't lie squarely with one or the other, but I don't know. Letting him go might be good. Just completely rebuild the team around a new head coach, new QB, new staff.
Yeah,
maybe not the worst idea.
Yeah, I was just saying that like he's had an incredible run there. He's been there 20 plus years. He's won 6 Super Bowls. He's one of the 3 greatest head coaches ever, if not the greatest. But I think it's just time. He's also the GM there, but the team he's built just isn't good, and they just need a change.
Yeah. Now, as for replacements for him, I don't know. I mean, again, I think they need to completely rework that entire team from the bottom up.
Yeah. There's just not much there.
Either you build around Zappy, which I don't know why they haven't done. I don't know. Apparently, it's a controversial opinion, but I think he's better than Mac Jones.
I agree with that. That's very fair.
I think he's been better than Mac Jones for some years now. Why they are not rebuilding around him is a bit beyond me. But
it's weird. Like, I kind of agree with you. Like, I think Zappy isn't terrible, and like I've been saying he's been better than Mac Jones ever since he played a couple of games last year in place of him. Most Patriots fans, when you ask them, think the guy is absolutely atrocious. Like he's like worse than Zach Wilson. But like I don't see it. Like I'm not saying the guy is great, and the guy, I'm not sure if they should build around him, but I think he's at least good enough to be a backup in this league. He's like at least like a Gardner Minshew kind of guy, at least.
I think that's the role he's playing right now, but he's playing backup to an inferior starter.
Yeah.
Which I also don't think is fair. It's not fair to him, and it's not fair to the rest of the team. Give him a bunch of good receivers, and he's right in the middle, I think, in terms of where quarterbacks fall in the NFL. And I think giving him at least a I mean, given the last few weeks of the season, to prove himself.
Yeah.
If the Patriots absolutely suck with him at the helm, then okay, get rid of him. But also, you got to get rid of the entire group. I think.
Yeah. I mean, look, the best option right now. They have like the second pick in the draft. I think the plan should be to draft a kid. I was just talking about how Drake May have officially declared. That's a guy I think they should look at. But you never know if Zappe plays well. If he played pretty well against Pittsburgh last week, and they have a good defense. If he keeps playing well down the stretch here, might give him something to think about. Like, does he deserve a shot? I mean, if he's playing with this group, which is not very good at all, maybe if they get him a better offensive line, some more weapons, could he do something with them?
Yeah, I think he could, and I also think they still should draft a QB. I don't know where Caleb Williams' draft stock is right now.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure it's fallen exponentially, rightfully so. He played he played fine, I guess, the last few weeks of the season.
Yeah.
But he was trying to carry a team that couldn't carry itself, and I mean So I don't know if Caleb Williams would be the right pick. Again, I think I think he's going to be a bust.
He worries me a lot.
He's going to get an NFL. He's going to be drafted by someone.
Of course, yeah. He'll be a high pick for sure.
Will he be a starter in 2 years? I don't think so.
He's a guy I just said it before he came on. Not to the extent, but he kind of screams Johnny Manziel to me.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel.
Not to that extent, but
without the
yeah,
personally.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Without I don't think he's having like a freshman walk on take his drug test for him. I don't see that. I don't see that coming out in the Caleb Williams documentary in 10 years. But like. It's like Redbox. Like, we all knew he was a train wreck, Johnny Manziel, but you see just how much more of a train wreck he actually was. Like, he's even more of a train wreck than you actually think. So, I want to say anything else about him. I want to give it the leg. It's a very good documentary on Netflix, and it's part of the Untold series. Yeah. The guy can't play. But yeah, like to an extent, Cable, like that seemed like arrogance and like kind of guy like, all right. It was cool and fun to watch in college, but the NFL just doesn't work.
Yeah, I could see him in 4 or 5 years. He's playing spring leagues.
In 5 years, he might be out of the league. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of agree.
Him in football is just not as a starter in the NFL. I think
that might be true. That might be true.
I don't think the guy's a total, but I just don't think he's going to be this generational talent.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
A lot of people were saying he was at the start of the season, and I think he's been exposed now.
Yeah.
But some front office will take a chance on it.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
We'll see. What else is going on today?
Well, Draymond got thrown out last night again.
I briefly saw something about this. What happened this time?
So he was like tangled up with Yusuf Nurkic of the Suns, and then he turned around and threw a punch and punched him in the face. And after he got thrown out after the game, he said that that wasn't his intention. He said he was trying to sell the foul, and like he swung his arm and he accidentally hit Nurkic, and he was like, "Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that." Like, he apologized to Nurkic. That being said, like, if you look at the replay, it doesn't look very good. It looks like he basically was like had another one of his like anger breakdowns and just swung and punched Nurkic in the face. But Draymond said it, he didn't mean to do it. So
I don't know. I mean, this isn't the first time.
It is definitely not. He was already suspended earlier this year for the stuff that happened with what's his name? Gobert.
He's been violent in the locker room. Has he not in the past before too, or am I thinking of someone else?
No, you're right. He punched Jordan Poole in the face last year.
Yeah,
for the season.
Yeah. This isn't a first for him.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
Exactly.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Me either. At this point, he's done it so many times. He's had so many instances over the years of just blatant dirty plays. At this point, if I'm the NBA, I'm just like, dude, like, you're gonna get suspended every time you do this, dude. Like, stop. And the Warriors are probably not very happy either.
Oh, I'm sure Warriors management, Warriors coaching staff are pissed, but he'll get a few games. I'll be back out there. He'll do it again. Rinse, repeat.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see another episode or 2 or 6. Retire.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, he just got the Warriors re-signed for 4 years, but I don't know how you can bring him back, especially if they keep struggling and they, losing the play-in or miss the play-in. Like, how expensive their luxury tax bill is. They might tell him, like, dude, you've had a great career here, but like, we're tired of you just going around punching dudes and get suspended every 10 games. Like, we're gonna trade you out of here.
Yeah, he's I don't know. This might not be the best comparison, but Luis Suarez of the NBA, except instead of biting people, he punches them.
Like, Luis Suarez, that's the soccer guy who bit the dude.
Yeah, he's like 33 and he's playing in I don't know. He's playing somewhere in either Italy or back home, and he's not doing shit. So.
But yeah, Draymond just it's like he gets like, I think the limit for technical fouls in the NBA, and then it's a 1-game suspension every time is like 17 or 18. He gets to that every year. He gets thrown out 4 or 5 plus times a year. He's been suspended for acts almost every year. These last couple of years it's gotten really bad. In the playoffs with Sabonis stepping on his chest and now choking Gobert, got him 5 games. Now he punches Nurkic in the face. He might get suspended for that. So,
have they handed down the suspension yet? I would guess not.
They haven't done anything yet. I know Woj tweeted that, Draymond should be expected to hear from the league office possibly because of his past acts. And they had Brian Windhorst on First Take earlier today, and he's saying, like, based off like what how the NBA has treated Draymond, they've said, all right, they've justified suspending him because of past acts. He's saying, like, if like a player without his history would get like 1 to 3 games, Draymond would get 5 to 7. So, like, it depends. Will the league take the approach of, it's just, if it was just one little thing, they'll treat him as like a normal player, maybe give him a game or 2, maybe 3, or will they be like, maybe be a little harsher and be like, dude, you've done this countless times, you're gonna get 5, 6, 7 games.
Yeah, I guess it'll all depend on, doing the replays and.
Yep.
From what I've heard, the replay doesn't look good for him though.
It really does. It basically looks like, to me, it looks like he was getting tangled up with Nurkic, and he had another anger outburst, and he turned around and punched him in the face.
It's pretty obvious. He's got to have other issues that are leading him to do this. You think I
think he's a dirty player.
Either a dirty player or he's got anger management problems.
He might, because like with Gobert, he said, like, oh yeah, I was defending my teammate, and like Gobert was getting into a scrum with one of his teammates. Like, he liked to do it in a chokehold, and like didn't let go for like a minute. Like, the dude thought he was like, it looked like something at WWE. Like, dude, at some point you gotta like, all right, like you can. I know you're there, to play defense and bring toughness, but like, there's a difference between standing up for your teammates and bringing toughness and just being flat out dirty.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
But yeah. So that's the scoop on Draymond. And is there anything else you want to talk about, Redbox?
I mean, as a Red Sox fan, I was very happy to see Shohei Ohtani go to the Dodgers.
Better than the Blue Jays, I'm sure, for you.
Yeah, I mean, I said this in the messenger group the other day. I went on a big voice message rant about it, actually. How if the Blue Jays picked up Ohtani, the AL East, if it wasn't already
it's very tough.
If it wasn't already a division where 4 teams could easily win it, it would be then. Of course. And then there was all the interesting fucking stipulations in his contract.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was it.
They defer $680 million, so they're paying him basically $2 million a year.
$680 million is going to be paid out after he retires, pretty much.
Yeah, well, after the contract is over, but he won't be playing for the Dodgers unless he resigns in 10 years. We don't know what kind of player he'll be in 10 years, but yeah, he's 29, I believe.
I think this is we'll see. Two-way players like that. Who knows?
Yeah, it's tough to predict the future, but at the end of the day, there's no way at 39 he'll still be able to give you 50 homers, 120 RBIs, and have a 3 ERA, and he'll be making $68 million. Also, if I'm making $68 million, I'm like, all right, bye, see you later.
I think it was interesting too, him saying, this proves this isn't for the money. This proves I'm in it for baseball. I think that was interesting, and I don't normally take players' words on shit like that, but when you do defer, most of your contract like that, and it's also an interesting way of skirting luxury tax rules, or at least playing them, for the Dodgers, who probably already have a fair amount of luxury tax payments due anyways. It's an interesting way to do it. It's something I've never seen before.
Yeah, no one has.
And I'm wondering if more teams will exploit this now that the Dodgers have pioneered it. But it's interesting. He says it's not for the money. I believe him. I'm going to be totally honest. I believe him.
I mean, yeah, Ohtani was trapped on the Angels where, Ohtani was doing this crazy stuff every night. Found a way to be a 75-win team. So maybe he just he wants to do whatever it takes to, get to, be on a team that's playing in the playoffs every year and winning championships. If that means him having to take a major pay cut every year of his contract, and then he'll get his money after the contract is over in a decade, especially considering he makes like $40 million a year in endorsements from Fanatics and Tops and all New Balance. I think he's got other stuff in Japan as well. He has some sponsors in Japan as well.
I think he makes more money in Japan than he does in the U.S.
He just might. So it's not like he's only making $2 million a year.
He doesn't need the money, exactly. Now, the interesting question here is where does Toronto go from here? The other Nippon League pitcher, what's his name? Piachi?
There's Yamamoto and then Imanga.
Are both of them coming over from the Japan League?
Yeah, Yamamoto's the bigger name. They're saying he might get a $300 million deal, but Shoto Imanga's also very good. He might get like $20 million a year, I heard.
Yeah, Yamamoto, I was thinking of someone else. Yamamoto could still shake up the AL East.
Oh, yeah.
Who else is on the pitching market right now?
There's Montgomery. There's Snell. Blake Snell. Montgomery's still out there. And there's probably a few others. Those are the big ones, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think Toronto. I mean, I'm taking my Red Sox hat off for a minute. They should shoot for Yamamoto, I think. I mean, we don't know what he's going to be like in the MLB,
Right.
but as we've seen, when MLB and NPB players play each other, I think they're pretty much even level, to be totally honest.
At this point, there's so much talent over there. Yeah, they're it's much easier for these guys to come over because they're just as good as all these other guys in the major leagues.
Baseball in Japan is almost as much, if not the same level as professional baseball in North America.
Oh yeah.
And you see a lot of the odd washed up MLB player goes over there. I mean, they find a spot for him.
Oh yeah.
Lots of Americans have gone over there and played either after they've been in the MLB or when they realize maybe we're not going to make it in the minors. It's the KHL of baseball.
Yes, it is.
Except a little higher, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe a little higher quality, but not by much. So I think a lot of promising talent is coming from Japan now. Over, I mean, Otani came from the Nippon League. Yamamoto now.
Yep.
Every major Japanese player, really, to be totally honest.
Oh yeah.
Has at least started over there. It's like Swedish and Russian hockey players. They play 2 or 3 seasons in the KHL or the Swedish leagues, and then they come over to they usually don't play through the Canadian or American systems. They play professionally over there, make a bunch of money, then come over here. Same thing with Japan and baseball players.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, we will. It will be very interesting. I'm praying that the Mets sign Yamamoto. They've been connected to him, of course, this whole time. But the Dodgers are right there. The Yankees are right there. I know. I think Boston just met with him.
Well, that would be nice. You know, use some reinforcements on pitching.
Definitely.
Absolutely. You know, Brian fucking
Bello?
Brian Bello, yeah. I'm not sure exactly you pronounce it. Brian Bayo, I think. I don't know. Is not good enough.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, it's obvious we're finishing 5th. In the next year or two at least. So it would be nice. I mean, we basically traded away our entire fucking batting order.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bats, all of them.
Betts was the dumbest one.
Oh yeah.
And we could have kept him too. We just weren't willing to make the investment.
Mm-hmm.
He's far from the only one that we've just let leave.
Oh yeah.
I don't know exactly what the plan is with front the front office. I don't know exactly what they're going for here. If they're trying to rebuild through the minors, if they're just kind of waiting for someone to come through free agency. Their sense of direction, if they have any, is confusing me.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a tough spot because of how good that division is. Like you said, like it's hard to see them not finishing in last, and their team is actually pretty good. But you know, their pitching is not good enough, and they also need to make some additions to their pitching if they want to even have a shot of even
we've got
being
the same problem as Toronto,
competing.
They can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
We got the exact same problem as the Jays. We can't stay healthy consistently. Half our batting orders either injured or playing at a limited capacity because of injuries that they're rehabbing from. So
yeah, I know Story was coming off an injury last year, so he didn't play a whole lot. And just it's pitchers doing the same thing, and some guys underperforming, and also their division is so difficult. It's very tough.
And we've got the toughest division in baseball, which doesn't help either. But
yeah.
I mean, that would be a more valid excuse if we were playing to the level we could be with the team we have, which we're not. So
yeah.
But I don't think that no matter what division we play in, I don't think we'd be a contender at the moment.
Yeah, they're not a bad team. Like, they're a competitive team, but they're not like a great team right now. I would say Boston.
Yeah, I mean, it's December, lots can happen. Like every other sport, I'm pretty much NFL is my main focus probably at the moment.
Right.
Well, and fantasy and NBA because I'm in a fantasy money league this year.
Yeah, man.
Well in it.
Yeah, I'm also in Neil's league. I guess you guys had someone who wasn't.
Which one are you? Which team are you in Neil's league?
I actually just joined. Y'all had I'm in last place. Whoever was in last place, I guess, wasn't holding up his end of the bargain. So Neil sent me a message. Yeah, so he messaged me and he was like, all right, I got a guy who's in our league. He's not, contributing or whatever. And
that's what the
yeah, so like so he wasn't even like trying or whatever. So he was like, give me I gotta give my team to somebody else. He said you won't have to pay the fee, but if I win, you'll take it out. He would take it out of my winnings, which is more than fair. So
is that your team?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. So the team isn't that good, but yeah. So I got thrown in there. The team that you see now, it was not the team I got. I tried to like make a bunch of waiver wire pickups to try and feel something competitive, but
hey, you're winning 12-2 right now in your matchup against, I think, is that LBJ?
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm doing, I think, a little better than whatever this other guy was doing. But like, Neil told me like, you won't have to pay the fee, but if you win, you'll take it out of my winnings, and I'd still win a nice amount of money, which I probably won't do anyway. But I think.
Point, your goal is just making the playoffs, which is entirely still doable. I mean, you'd be, I think, you're 35, 49 and 66. If this trend continues, that's recoverable. It's only.
Yeah, I've been able to kind of like make the team good enough to where like they won't suck every week, which I've made them competitive. I think I'm just hoping to just try and work my way up.
I think the other guy was playing either. I think he just kind of entered and left his team.
Yeah.
But
yeah, from what Neil told me, like he wasn't even trying. Like he basically signed up, and like he said he hadn't paid his fee, and he just wasn't trying to. It got to the point where because it's a paid league, you can't have a guy in there. Not only didn't pay, he's not paying, he's not trying. So he's like, look, if you want in, you can come in. You won't have to pay the fee. If you win, we'll take it out of your winnings. I was like, you know what? Why not?
Yeah, no, I'm in a fantasy hockey league too, but I'm doing absolute shit. We'll see if I do that one next year. But fantasy basketball, I'm definitely in. I'm definitely in for because I'm having fun in this league too. Like I like the format. I don't now the hockey obviously Neil doesn't control the format. I don't love the way Yahoo runs their fantasy hockey leagues. I wish it was similar to basketball where you win.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a big Yahoo fantasy guy, and I've never been that into fantasy basketball. But I figured, all right, I can get in for free in a paid league. Why not?
Yeah, I mean I don't have too much experience with fantasy outside Yahoo, mainly because Yahoo's the only one that's actually accessible. They've at least the past few years they put a lot of money into, a lot of resources, which probably just means like doing the bare fucking minimum, to actually making it accessible, and you can do everything. You can do everything with a screen reader that anyone else could do in it. Some of the buttons aren't labeled very well, but it's easy enough to figure out. So it's a little confusing sometimes figuring out how you get the points you do, but
I'm not gonna lie, I do prefer like just like the normal head-to-head like you see in football, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and the hockey is the normal head-to-head.
Okay.
I honestly I prefer this. I think it's more interesting.
It definitely puts a spin on it. Maybe because it's just so new to me. I remember one year, my friends and I, when I was in high school, we did a fantasy league. It was just like a free ESPN league for fun. And like, we didn't really know what we were doing. So my one friend was the commissioner. And like, I guess he just like the league, he didn't look at the settings and just, it was already set to like how that is. So then when he created the league, he was like, oh, this is not what I wanted. We were like, you know what? The league already started. We'll just go with it. And it actually, no, it was baseball. And it worked out fine. I mean, it was different, but it worked out fine.
Yeah, no, like his head-to-head where players can accumulate but also lose points.
Mm-hmm.
That's the part that I can't wrap my head around, the losing points part.
Yeah.
It tells you how it works, but it's so much simpler to do it the way they do it with the NBA, where like once they score a point, or once they commit a turnover, it just counts. There's no deductions.
Yeah.
The deductions part is the whole part that I'm like, that's just.
Yeah, like.
I don't have the time in my life.
Exactly. Like it's like in basketball, because like in basketball, like obviously they score so much more. Basketball, you got teams that are dropping over 100 points every night. In hockey, the game is 3-2. So like I don't mind like having like losing points in fantasy basketball, because all right, if a guy has 5 turnovers and he loses a couple of points, he might have 30. He might score 30 points to make up for it. But in hockey, a guy's only going to have 1 or 2 goals. I can't afford to lose any points.
Exactly, and a lot of times in hockey, there's this weird rule. This one's interesting too, where if your goalies don't make 3 starts in a week, you don't get any of their points.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's tough.
Now that hasn't happened to me yet, which like you would think it has by my terrible record. Hasn't happened to me yet. Mind you, I have Hellebuck and Vasilevsky.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Will happen. But that was one of my problems. I don't really know what I was doing with the hockey. I drafted both my goalies way too early.
I mean, Hellebuck and Vasilevsky makes sense. You got both really good. Obviously, the Vasilevsky started injured. I'm not sure if he still is or not, but
problem though, I drafted Hellebuck first, and then Vasilevsky pretty close to after him, when there was probably still better offensive talent on the board. That kind of screwed me.
That's one of those things. It depends how you're building your team. If you think, if you're like, all right, I have enough offensive talent where I can wait around and get somebody else. All right, take Vassy. You got once he comes back, you have 2 incredible goalies. Maybe you trade one, but so it just kind of depends. That's fantasy for you.
I was just more awake and alert and motivated than I was doing the NBA draft. And mind you, I drafted like a whole bunch of Canadians and Raptors to start, and they all did really well for like 2 weeks, and then they started playing how they probably should be playing.
They came back to earth.
Yeah, so like half my team is gone now. My team is not what it was, and I'm sure you just saw. I just made a trade. I got Derek Lively, which was a nice pickup. I gave away Schroeder for him, and I got Lively and the Bogdanovich that sucks. Plays for Detroit. So, He'll probably not be on my team in the next few weeks, but
he also might get traded at the trade deadline. Maybe that'll help if he has more better players around him if he gets traded. But Detroit also wants a lot for him, and other teams are like, no, I'm not trading you a first round pick for a guy that's gonna have like 20 minutes.
Well, I think it's lively too. I mean, with him, I got a few big men now, so and Lively doesn't. He absolutely sucks from the line, but anything else, he's solid.
Yeah, he's very good. He's had a nice rookie year.
So I got I got him. I got Ray Jones. I've been meaning to trade him. Him and Bear need to go. I got Dame. I got Gordon Hayward, Bogdan, and I got both Bogdanoviches actually.
Okay.
Which I had both of them at the start of the season too, and then I dropped the shitty one, and then I ended up getting him back. I've got my big men are good. I got AD and I got Brook Lopez.
Wow.
Also,
assuming AD stays healthy.
Oh, gee, Kelly Oubre, that was a tough one. So, when you get hit by a car, Alex Caruso too. When he's healthy, he's amazing, but he hasn't been healthy all season.
Right.
And Porzingis too.
He's been phenomenal. He missed the 1 week, but when he's been healthy, he's been phenomenal.
Porzingis too. He's been. I mean, he was been on IL for just over a week, and I finally managed to get him off IL.
Yeah, he's been really good. So he's probably because the thing is he's always open because there's so many. You got so many all-star shooters on that team. But can only cover so many guys.
He's on an absolutely stacked team with the Celtics. And unfortunately, they're not playing tonight. Tonight, there's a bunch of games. There's 10 games tonight, I think.
All right.
Lots of good ones. If I'm awake, I'll be watching Raptors Hawks. I think I mentioned this. I've got through my IPTV thing. I've got League Pass, so I get all the in stadium feeds during the breaks, which is hilarious. It's exactly as goofy as you would expect. Well, if you've ever been to an NBA game, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I think the one it was like 10 years ago, but it's exactly as goofy as you would imagine it to be, or if you've been, you would know. So watch that hopefully tonight. I had to watch the Leafs play last night, but I was not awake for most of that game.
Yeah, they beat the crap out of my Rangers. That was ugly.
7-2, I think it was.
7-3, yeah.
7-3, because I was getting all the goal alerts. My phone kept going off with goal horn every 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was watching. I watched the first period. It was 4-1. Then I was like, all right, this game's over. I went and did some stuff around the house. And then I checked my phone. It was 4-3. I was like, oh, okay. They're coming back. And I turned it on for the third period. And then the Leafs scored again. I was like, yeah, this game's over. Exactly. Basically, yeah. We
don't know. We don't play again tonight because we played 2 nights in a row. But the Raptors, I don't know. My Packers, I watched that end of that game.
Ooh. Oof. That's a tough one. Tommy Cutlets.
I actually just finished a paper on the second half, or the first half was ending. So I thought, okay, I'll watch the second half, and then I kind of fell asleep. Woke up with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Oh wow! you woke up at hell of a time.
The Packers go up 22-21 and miss the extra point, or the 2-point.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw the quarterback for the Giants.
Tommy Cutlets.
Yeah. Tommy Cutlets. His big, as soon as they got to the 20-something yard line, I just turned it off. And there's no point in even watching the last 30 seconds of this. They're going to kick a field goal
in the game.
Win it, and I was not wrong.
Yep. Yeah, that was. I remember because, and also that guy Heath, who I've never heard of, he made that was an incredible catch. I was like, oh my god, the Packers might win, and then the Giants got the ball back, and I think that was his first ever touchdown. Then the Giants got the ball, and they were just driving. I was like, yeah, the Giants are gonna get into field goal range.
2 plays, and we all knew the game was over.
Basically, yeah. Within 30 seconds, I was like, oh wait, Giants might be winning this one.
So, like, I think they got to like the 30, or they got to like the 22. I'm like, okay, I'll watch one more play. I'm passing out because I am like half awake as it is. So they got into the red zone. I'm like, yeah, no point. Good night.
Yeah.
I don't normally like that either. Normally I'll see games through to the end, but
yeah.
I think part of it had to do with me writing a paper for 13 hours.
Wow.
I absolutely flopped, by the way.
It happens.
I got it back already today. It was brutal. I got a 67.5.
You passed. You passed.
Yeah, I passed, I guess. But yeah, that was brutal. And of course, we're on the losing end of this quarterback who's now going to be world famous for 3 days.
I know. It's so funny. I've gotten attached to this whole thing. It's just the story is just so funny.
In Green Bay, the crazy thing is, we're still in wild card contention.
I think they're actually the last team in right now.
I think so. And of course, I somehow also managed to get both Monday night games wrong, but like, who picked the Dolphins?
I know that was crazy.
Against the Titans, it was, right?
Yeah, and they were up 2 touchdowns with like 3 minutes left, and they just blew that game.
The way I kind of could have seen the Giants beating the Packers.
Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah, that was a bad luck for Miami. Yeah, that was a crazy game. It's weird. I was because they were on at the same time, so I was watching the Dolphins game because one of my fantasy leagues I needed Tyreek Hill to not have a good game basically to win. So I was following out a little more closely. Then when the Dolphins went up by 2 touchdowns with like 5 or 6 minutes left, I was like, all right, this game's over. Titans are self-destructing. I'm going to the Giant game. I turned it on literally as Jordan Love is throwing the ball, and this random Heath kid makes this great catch, reaches over the goal line. I'm like, oh my god, the Packers are gonna win. All the Giants fans in our Discord are going crazy. And then then Tommy DeVito leads the game-winning drive. I'm like, wow, Giants win. I flip back, and the Titans are only down by 6, and they have the ball back. I'm like, oh, maybe they have a shot. And I was like, oh my god, they're about to win. They're about to win the game.
TV channel Packers games.
I know. You had one on ESPN, one on ABC. You're basically the same thing, but not really.
Well, I was the UK channels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Mm-hmm.
They have a channel in the UK that basically just shows the biggest event of whatever is on that series of channels.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Dolphins game on, but then on their dedicated NFL channel, they have the Packers game on, which makes no sense. Normally those 2 channels share whatever game is on.
Oh.
So I instinctively went to the secondary channel they use for NFL, and I saw the Dolphins game, and I was really confused. So I go to the other one, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you did that wrong, first of all. Should be the other way around, but, you know. No, it was a good game, though. The parts that I saw, just Green Bay's defense is normally not the problem, actually.
Yeah.
Not last night, I guess. Monday night they were.
Yeah. The Packers didn't play a very good game. I heard they were very sloppy. They didn't play a great game, and I thought they were going to pull it out, but then coming to be. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's so many issues, and I think we're probably going to slide into a wild card.
They might. The NFC isn't good.
And we play what? We play, I know we have the Panthers on Christmas Day.
They'll win that game. Panthers are awful.
Christmas Eve.
I think Christmas Day. I think the Jets play on Christmas Eve. Unless there's 2 games that day or multiple games that day.
Well, Christmas Eve is a Sunday, so.
Right, so maybe it's Christmas Eve then.
There's gonna be like 10 games Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. So probably it's Christmas Eve then. Yeah, the last couple of years, the NFL has been having games on all these holidays now. They've always done Thanksgiving. They had the Black Friday game this year, which was on Friday at 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah, you guys have the Black Friday.
Yeah, against Miami.
Yeah, this Sunday we've got the Bucks. If we don't win that, I swear. Yeah, Christmas Eve, the Panthers. New Year's Eve, the Vikings.
Okay.
And then Packers Bears to close it out, of course.
It's not a bad schedule at all.
Oh no, the Christmas New Year's Eve game, I believe it has been flexed. I don't remember being at 8:20. But
I know they flexed out this week. They flexed out Chiefs, Patriots at a Monday night, but Sunday at 1. And they put what did they put in Monday night? I was just looking at it too while I was preparing to do this show. I'm doing game picks in a little bit. I forgot what they put in there, but I know they flexed that game out. I don't know what else was flexed though.
they flexed. I have the schedule up actually, so I can tell you. Seattle and the Eagles, not a.
Oh yeah, they put that one in there.
Not a huge upgrade in my opinion, unless Geno Smith decides to show up on Monday nights. I don't know, the Eagles have been shit the past few games too, but
yeah, they're struggling. They're being ousted as frauds, if you ask me.
I mean, they've got a playoff spot pretty much.
They'll easily get in. I do think they'll still win their division, but I don't think they'll lose probably like the conference championship. I don't think anyone's going to beat the 49ers.
Yeah, no, the Niners are probably going all. The Niners are running all, I think, but
yeah.
I mean, see who their opponent is in the Super. That would be the interesting part.
Yeah, the AFC. I mean, like the Chiefs are struggling now. So is it the Ravens? Maybe.
Chiefs, the Ravens. Yeah, I mean, if the Dolphins are able to progress, I don't know.
I don't believe in the Dolphins. They haven't beaten anybody.
They can, though. They
can. They haven't shown me that they've been able. They haven't done it. Like they have the pieces to do it. They just haven't done it.
They have the pieces. They have. I don't know what's preventing them.
I don't know if it's maybe. Like I'm not a big Tua guy, so maybe it's him. I don't know if it's the coaching. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have not beaten a good team this year. All right, so all right, Redbox. Is there anything else that you want to talk about today?
You said you were moving into game picks, or is that tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Also, I'm not sure if you saw the St. Louis Blues fired Craig Berube, their head coach.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, about time.
I mean, they won the Cup in 2019, and they've only won one playoff series since.
Yeah,
They didn't make the playoffs last year. They're 13, 14, and 1 this year, so they have been great this year. I guess they just thought it was time for a change, and the interim coach is some random dude. I assume it was like their top assistant. He's now their. He's now their. He's now the coach there, for now.
Exactly.
Yep. NHL loves, they'll fire a coach and then they'll go and find some other retread, throw him in there, and see how he does. All right, Redbox. If you got nothing else, I'll do my game picks. Feel free to stick around.
All
right. So let's jump right in. Thursday Night Football this week is Chargers Raiders. Both teams are at 5-8. Chargers are down Herbert now. He's out for the year with the broken finger. I know Antonio Pierce has not named a starter yet. He might bench Aiden O'Connell. He might go either back to Jimmy Garoppolo or maybe to Brian Hoyer. I think he'd go to Garoppolo because Brian Hoyer is beyond terrible. I'll take the Chargers. The Raiders are really bad. Both teams aren't good. I don't know why Brandon Staley has a job, but Easton Stick is not very good. Technically we don't know. We've never really seen him play, but I'll take the Chargers to sneak by. Aiden O'Connell's horrible, and Jimmy Garoppolo is much better.
Continuing the trend of terrible Thursday night games.
Exactly. That's I don't know who is playing these games. Some of them I kind of get. I know you had the Jets on primetime a couple of times, and we thought Aaron Rodgers will be healthy. But some of these games on Thursday night, just why?
I think it's intentional. I think they're not. They're the exclusive Amazon games. I think the NFL just doesn't want to put in big.
That might be true. If you don't have Amazon, which I feel like most people do, but not everybody has. And if you don't have it, you can't watch the game.
They're trying not to piss too many people off, and that's why they're.
Yeah, that makes sense. That could be true. If someone doesn't have Amazon, they miss this classic game. It's they're complaining well, why was it on Amazon?
Exactly.
Because obviously for years it was on NBC, and now it's not. Saturday at 1:00. There's 3 Saturday games this week. Saturday at 1, there's Vikings Bengals. Both teams 7-6. Both teams right there in the playoff picture. I think the Vikings were the second team, the second wild card in the NFC, and the Bengals are on the outside looking in. But there's 7-6 teams in the AFC. I'm gonna take the Bengals. Jake Browning has actually played very well in place of Joe Burrow. He's gone for 924 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 picks. So he's played well. Bengals got a lot of weapons. Vikings are starting Nick Mullins this week, who probably gives them the best shot to win. Joshua Dobbs' little Cinderella run is over. Mullins was definitely their best quarterback last week, and they'll get Justin Jefferson back. He's been cleared, but I'm going to take the Bengals.
Yeah, this one's in Cincinnati too, right?
Yes, it is. Cincinnati's home.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
It is a tough one. That'll be a very close game. Well, that'll be a close game.
Hey, man, I gotta go. Someone's calling me.
That's all right, Redbox. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll talk to you soon, all right? All right, so that's Redbox. He's been on my show a few times before. Actually, we're going to have another mic request. We have Sean Jarrett. So I'm going to invite him on the mic. Hey, Sean.
What's going on? There's a couple of key injuries in that Chargers game.
Really?
Yeah, because Everett's supposed to be is questionable right now. I don't think he practiced today. Or Keenan Allen was with a heel injury.
Ooh, okay. So thank you, Sean. But I know Keenan Allen's on my fantasy team. He's been questionable like every week for a while, and he's played through whatever he's been playing through. But if he didn't practice the games in a day, ooh.
Yeah, he's been listed. They have him questionable about being a Yahoo right now. So
Interesting. So hopefully he plays because Chargers are going to definitely need him. I'll stick with the Chargers for now because I feel like he'll play. He's been questionable like every week. I just think, they might have to list him because like every week it's like, oh, hypothetically, if he wakes up on game day, his injury is a little worse. So clearly he's been playing through something all year, but he's gotten through it to this point.
And then to go into that Vikings game, situation with Josh Dobbs, who could be possibly who's that starting job.
Yeah, they named Nick Mullins for the game. They're going to start Mullins that game.
I think the Bengals could have a nice game
for
the Saturday slate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's that's gonna be a close game, but Jake Browning's played well, but so I'll take the Bengals.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
All right, 4:30. Boy, all the Saturday games are on the NFL Network. 4:30 Saturday. It's Steelers Colts. I'll take the Colts. I'll take Indy. That should be another two more 7-6 teams in AFC. I think the Colts might be the last team in right now in the AFC, and then Pittsburgh's right there. I'll take Indy's. The Steelers' offense is just so bad. It's really bad. I know they got rid of Matt Canada, but it's really hasn't helped that much. I'm not saying that was the wrong move, but their offense is really struggling. They got Mitch Trubisky starting again. He was really bad last week against New England, so I'll take it Indianapolis, who's played quietly been very good.
I want to go different. I want to take the Steelers because somehow managed to pull it through. Even though Matthew was playing very well, I think they get up for the game, and I think that this could be one of them games that's going to be a shootout at the end.
Interesting, because I would say a little more low scoring just because you got two teams that are a little more defensively minded, but you never know. And this will be a very close game. Both of these games that I just went over on Saturday will definitely be very close. So Saturday night at 8:15, it will be Broncos and Detroit Lions. That's a tough one because Detroit's better on paper, but they're also struggling these last few weeks. Jared Goff's been struggling a bit. The Lions secondary has had a tough time. They've been dealing with some injuries. I'll take Detroit. Denver's been playing pretty well, but Russell Wilson's been better, but he still has, his arm isn't there, but been much more accurate, much more careful with the ball. But I'll take the Lions. They're just the better team.
That's the Lions. But here's the point. I think that they're going to be trying to recover from that loss versus the Bears. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's going to be a big factor. The defense is really going to come out, and he's going to try to pressure Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Aiden Hutchinson probably has a sack or two in that game. I'll take the Lions to bounce back. And then we got Bears, Browns. I'll take Cleveland. That defense is really good. Joe Flacco, who they just brought off the couch, is playing really, really well. So I'll take Cleveland.
Hold on with you. I don't know. It was rumored last week that he was bench coach's decision. So I don't know what's going on. That could be an interesting storyline of why down the stretch.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't hear that. I know Stefanski said he'd be the starter for the rest of the year prior to last week's game, and he went out and played well and got the win last week. So Browns are at 8-5. They're looking like they're going to make the playoff, which is incredible considering they've had 4 different quarterbacks and all the injuries they've had on the opposite side of the ball. But that defense is really good. But I'll take Cleveland. That defense is really good.
Yeah, that defense is good, and they're playing a struggling Chicago team. I hate to see it.
Yeah, they've been playing a little better. They've gotten to 5-8, which all of a sudden puts them right there in the mix. But Cleveland's just a little better, I think.
Yeah, but the Chicago team is up and down. 1 week they can show a great output, and then the next week it look like trash. It's hard for to say that I can. They can't keep consistency with that, and that's probably gonna be the downfall of them.
Yeah.
At the end of the season.
Definitely. Got Buccaneers and Packers. Ooh, we got 2, 6, and 7 teams. Packers right now are the last team in the NFC. Bucks actually are in first place because their division's so bad. Drew Love, he's been playing better. He wasn't great last week, but the previous 3 he played well. I'm gonna take. I'll actually take Tampa in a bit of an upset. I'll take Tampa. I mean, they're not very good, but the defense is very good. Jordan Love didn't play well last week. I'm to me personally, I'm still not sold on Jordan Love, even though he's been playing better. So I'll take Tampa.
I want to go different. I got a feeling that Love, he lost a heartbreaker.
Oh yeah.
On Monday night, and I feel that game was so close towards the end of it. At this field goal they made field goal, they win that game. I feel that this will be one of them games where they bounce back and win. And you can't depend on Baker Mayfield too much. Baker Mayfield is huge. He does play a good football. He does a great ball. I have him in fantasy, but with it, and the only reason I started is the injury to C.J. Stroud. You gotta go Packer. I gotta go Packer.
That's fair. But speaking of C.J. Stroud, we got Texans and Titans out at 1 o'clock. Stroud's in the concussion protocol. I'll take the Texans. I think Stroud will play. Now, I'm sure they won't want to push it because it's a concussion and he's a rookie, and that they want to preserve their future. But I'll take Houston. They're definitely a better team in Tennessee. Tennessee's coming with a big win over Miami, but I'll take Houston.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. I was going to see the battle of the 2 rookie quarterbacks, Levis and Strauss.
Right.
But he didn't practice today, and that's going to be he's not going to practice on Wednesday, shall I say. It will tell you Wednesday. How many days behind? So he did practice today, so I'm thinking that he probably will start, probably practice either tomorrow or Friday. He'll
probably
kind of decision. Hopefully, he'll clear, and we'll see that matchup. But I gotta go with the Texans. I love what the coach in Houston is doing.
Oh yeah, Coach D'Amico Ryan's done a great job.
He has a whole different style of coaching, and it's showing on the field by the defense and on the offense. And with C.J. Stroud there, that injury hurt them with their star rookie running back. I mean, not rookie running back, but wide receiver.
Tank Dell's out for the year. That's a tough loss.
Yeah, that's a tough one. And then, Nico Brown, not
Nico Collins had a tough game last week.
He's
very good.
And if they have C.J. Stroud as a quarterback, look on for Houston to depend on that run game to open up a little bit, and maybe not keeping Stroud in the pocket, but moving him around.
Right.
A little play action, but keeping him upright. Look for them to pull this one out.
Definitely agree. All right, at 1 o'clock we got Jets Dolphins. I'd love to pick my Jets, but I can't. I'm picking Miami. Jets offense in the second half might have found something. Zach Wilson played really well, but I'm still not sold. It was 1 half. For 5.5 games, their offense was as bad as you can be. I'm still taking the Dolphins, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. I can Dolphins as well.
All right, Chiefs Patriots at 1. I'm taking the Chiefs. I know they're struggling a little bit, but the Patriots team is just so bad. I think the Chiefs will come out and play a little bit better. If Kadarius Toney hadn't lined up off sides, the Chiefs would have probably beaten the Bills. That touchdown would have stood. So I'll take the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, then you got to factor in Isaiah Pacheco.
Mm-hmm.
What it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But hey, I expect him to hopefully be back this week. And they definitely need him in that lineup.
Yeah, they'll definitely need him at another 1 o'clock game. You got Giants and Saints. So Giants are at 5-8. All of a sudden, they're only a game out of the playoffs, and the Saints at 6-7 are right there just because their division's so bad and how bad the NFC is. I'm actually going to take the Giants. I'm going to ride with Tommy Cutlets. Saints are at -6 for now. The Saints, they're just so mediocre. No, Derek Carr's playing through some injuries. He hasn't had a good year. I'll take the Giants. Mm-hmm. That's fair.
The Saints could if they keep it close.
Yeah.
I don't see Giants running away with this game.
Definitely. That'll be a close game.
Alvin Kamara in the backfield.
True, Alvin Kamara is a phenomenal running back. All right. We got one more 1 o'clock game before the 4 o'clock slate. The Falcons-Panthers. I'll take Atlanta. Atlanta's not that good. Doesn't matter, sucks, but Carolina has just been so bad this year. They're an absolute mess. I'll take Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that, and I got an update about what I said about Isaiah Pacheco. He had a shoulder injury, but
okay.
Going back to that game, I'm definitely thinking I have Wayne Q. I hope I said his name right, but I have him having at least 3 or 4, a couple extra points in a field goal.
Young Q, yeah, he's a very good kicker for the Falcons. All right, so Commanders Rams is at 4:05. I'm gonna take the Rams. That Commanders team is very bad. Sam Howell has flashed some brilliance. I like him, but that Commanders offensive line is terrible, and they can't stop anybody. I think the Rams are gonna put up a lot of points, so I'll take the Rams.
Yeah, I agree with you that, but Sam Howell is the most sacked QB.
Oh yeah,
in the NFL right now. I just don't see that line protecting him.
Yeah, same. Definitely agree with you there.
You had one of the best defensive ends on the line in the game on the other side. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough matchup. Also at 4:05, you got 49ers Cardinals. I think the 49ers are gonna blow them out. 49ers are unstoppable right now. Arizona's not very good. I think Niners just blow them off the page.
Yeah, I think that's gonna not even be worth watching. I may watch the first.
Yeah, it's gonna be will not be pretty.
Game of the few games that's close because that's gonna be over very fast unless Kyler Murray comes out and plays a lights out game where he has no mistakes. I definitely have a point that, but I think Christian McCaffrey can get at least 250 yards rushing.
That might be one. There might be one of those games where those 49ers guys, they can put up some big numbers. Also at 4:25, you have Cowboys Bills. This might be the game of the week. I hate the Cowboys, but I am going to take them. Josh Allen's had his turnover issues this year. Cowboys scored. De'Aaron Bland's got 5 pick sixes or 6 pick sixes, which is an NFL record, and 8 interceptions total. I think Allen will make a couple mistakes, so I'll actually take Dallas in that one.
I'm going to take Dallas, but they get Dallas. They have Dallas starter for the Bills, and they get Dawson Knox back as well.
Yeah, Kincaid and they've Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Yeah.
So that could be an interesting game, but this Dallas defense plays so well.
They're really good.
They get up so fast. I don't see this being a close game at all.
Interesting. We'll see what happens. Sunday Night Football is Ravens Jaguars. I'm taking the Ravens. Jacksonville's been a bit inconsistent. I don't really trust them. Baltimore's been really good. They're the number 1 in the AFC for a reason. Their defense is phenomenal. Lamar Jackson's been playing really well, so I'll take the Ravens.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting game.
Oh, yeah.
a team that like Jacksonville, who had very high hopes in the AFC South. But this Baltimore team has been playing very well.
Oh yeah.
And you get Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham in there, and then look out. They didn't even have an Isaiah Likely to have a good game. But that defense for Jacksonville should not be slept on.
The defense has played well this year. They really have.
On the defensive side, it could be a problem.
Definitely. And the last game, then we'll close this thing out. Monday Night Football is Eagles Seahawks. Philly's been struggling, but I am going to take the Eagles. Seattle, something's up there. They've not performed up to what they should be. You know, I'm not sure if it's going to be Geno Smith or it's going to be Drew Lock. You know, Geno already hasn't played very well. Obviously, Drew Lock isn't very good, so I'll take the Eagles.
Yeah, and I think that Eagles defense to be very hungry, but they're going to try to put the ball to Smith or Jigba as well as they're trying to get out of the backfield.
Yep.
So I'm be surprised to see they try to come out and upset the Eagles, but I'm still picking the Eagles.
All right, that's all we got for you guys today. Sean, thank you so much for joining me for Game Picks. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Redbox for joining me earlier today. I'm not sure if I'll do the show tomorrow. I wasn't planning on it. I was supposed to have somebody coming in from out of town, but that might not be happening. So, you know, stay tuned. But I'll probably do a show Friday and maybe tomorrow, and then you won't see me till after Christmas. But until next time, so long and have a great day.